birdie. I know, I need to fill up the bird feeder. Sorry. Hey guys, welcome to episode 37 of the Knit Now Swatch Later podcast. My name is Courtney. Today is Wednesday, March 31st, 2021, and this is a knitting podcast where I talk about all of my knitting, crocheting, and whatever other crafty ventures I have been exploring the last couple of weeks. So everything that I talk about in the episode will be linked in the description box below. And you can find me on Instagram as Knit Now Swatch Later and on Ravelry as Pup. And you can also find a link to our Ravelry group and my Etsy shop in the links down below. So I have a bunch of things to show you this episode. I have 2 finished objects, a ton of works in progress, and a new book that I want to talk to you guys about. So let's go ahead and get started. First finished object that I have to show you guys is my Felix pullover, which I have been working on for quite a while. It is done. I'll stand up so you can see it. It fits really well. I really enjoyed knitting this, and I love the raglan increase detail on the shoulders. I will try to put a picture, some of my finished object photos in here. I was going to wear it today, but I have to take my dog to the vet later, and knits and puppy claws just don't do well together. So I'll put some pictures in here, and if you follow me on Instagram, you have already seen them. So my next finished object I am super excited about. The cows. They're done, guys. The cows are done. They're done. Okay. Look, this one's hair is a little cray, but I am so excited that these are done. The flowers are sewn on and everything. Thanks, Mom, for sewing these on for me. And then, yeah, they're done, 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 done. I never have to work on another cow again. And I am very excited about that. So these, along with the other 2 cows, are in a box, packed up, ready to be shipped out to the person who ordered them. And I'm so excited. When I finished them, I felt this like freedom, this sense of freedom just settling over me. It felt so good. I can't even describe it. But anyway, enough about the cows. We are never talking about the cows again. We're done with them. Okay. Moving into works in progress, I have in my little piggy bag from, I think, PB&J Knits on Etsy. I have my winter hike socks, which I am knitting these on a US size 1 2.25 millimeter needle. I'm using the magic loop method, and the yarn that I'm using is Sweet Sparrow in the House Wren base and the Kissed by Fire colorway. So here is my progress. You can see I have some pooling here, but it doesn't bother me. I'll still wear it. And then I have the heel, and I've just started the foot. I haven't made a lot of progress on these just because I've been focused on finishing those that we are no longer speaking of. But I am hoping to get back on track working on these, and I did not put in a progress keeper, so I don't even know how much progress I've made since last episode, unfortunately, but I am using this progress keeper from Sassenach Yarn Company that she sent me for Christmas this year. Sliding that in there to mark where I am for next podcast. So there we go. Alright, so Obviously, I will not be making my goal of completing a pair of socks every month, so I think I'm going to modify that goal to just finish 12 pairs of socks throughout the year. It's easier for me to start a pair on the 1st and finish them by the end of the month, but we just had a ton of stuff going on, and then other projects with deadlines, it did not happen. And these are not, they're not hard socks, but I do have to look at the chart while I'm working on those, which is not always super convenient. So hopefully I will have this first sock finished and the next one started by the next episode of the podcast, but we shall see. So next up, I have in my Stitching You bag, which has my summer sock camp pin, which is coming up very soon. I'm super excited about that. I cannot wait for that to start. Kay has just recently uploaded her video talking about this year's summer sock camp, so if you missed that, make sure that you check it out. But anyway, here in this bag I have my Mango Tango vanilla socks. I am knitting these on Chow Goose, which are US size 1 2.25 millimeter needles. And again, I'm using the magic loop method. And for these socks, I am just knitting a long tube. And I'm planning on, right now my plan is to use up the whole cake of yarn, which I still have that much left. It's a very messy cake, but anyway. Planning on knitting a whole tube, using up all of the yarn, which I may lose steam on that and decide I'm not going to use the entire thing, but we shall see. But I'm planning on going back in and cutting in and adding the heels, toes, and cuffs and splitting them off into 2 socks. So by the time I finish this tube, I will almost have a full pair of socks. They will be very long socks, but maybe I'll even cut them into like 2 pairs. I don't know. We'll see. But that's the plan for those. Those are just my vanilla knitting that I grab for the car, or like if we're going somewhere that we're going to be sitting and chatting for a while, I grab for those so that I can just have some simple knitting to keep my hands occupied, but not a whole lot of brain work, unlike the winter hike socks, which I cannot do that with. So they're a nice grab and go project. And then, since I finished my Felix pullover, I pulled out an old whip, which is in this adorable pig project bag, which I love. I have brought out my Mima cardigan, which is by Pip and Pin Designs or Megan Nodecker. I am knitting this on a US size 3 3.25 millimeter Chow needle, and then I'm using Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek DK in the colorway Cloud Control. And here is my progress so far. This progress keeper is marking where I was the last time I showed this on the podcast, so I have not made a lot of progress on this, but this is another one of those. I have to look at the pattern for every row. It's time consuming. I think I'm at like 380 something stitches per row, so the rows are super long, but I have put quite a bit of work into this since I picked it up after finishing my Felix pullover. So I'm excited to be working on that again. I think once I split for the sleeves, it's just gonna go really quickly. Hopefully, I don't know. And if it doesn't, I could always go through and knit the sleeves and then go back to knitting the body. I don't know. We'll see. But I am really enjoying that. Just with it being one of my more complex knits, it takes a while, and it's not always my go-to project. And then last, I have a new cast on in one of my floral bags. Anyway, here is my granny block blanket, which I started, I want to say on Sunday. Maybe I started on Monday. It's folded in half right now. Here's the full, what I have so far. I'm about halfway through. So this is a super quick project that I'm working on. It is in, I am using a mandala cake in the colorway Unicorn. So I have, working through the gray to get to the pink. I did not realize when I pulled this cake how much not pink there was. Just looking at the label. I am crocheting this for someone at our church who is having a baby girl in April, late April, beginning of May, I don't know. So I'm hoping that I can have this finished within the next week or two, and then my husband can take it to his men's group and give it to the dad. So I'm excited about this and how quickly it's working up. I'm really enjoying it. And then I am using my H 5mm hook, which is my favorite size hook. I did not do a gauge swatch because I don't do those. But I'm pretty happy with the fabric that it's making, and this size hook doesn't bother my hand, so it's a win-win. So super excited about that. So that's everything for crafty content. So I will move into books, which I did not bring my book with me, but I did start Stalemate by Iris Johanson, which I showed on the last episode of the podcast in my stack of books that I had recently acquired. I'm about halfway through and it is really good. The only problem that I'm having with it is just finding the time to sit down and read it, but it's really good. It's pretty quick moving, it's interesting, and I will probably have it finished by the next episode of the podcast. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks our schedule is going to lighten up a little bit and I will have a little bit more free time to sit down and read a book. So super excited for that. And then I put a new book on hold at the library, which I don't have yet. It's called A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, which is another book that was recommended by Gabby from the Plies and Hellhounds podcast. So far I have not had much luck with books that she's recommended, but she just makes them sound so good. This one, she said, is not a romance novel, which is a step in the right direction. I don't like romance novels. I don't read them, don't enjoy them. So that's promising. Speaking of books recommended by Gabby, I did start reading The Cruel Prince by Holly Black, and I stopped reading The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. It's not my thing. The fae romance stories are just not interesting to me. So I sent that one back to the library 4 days early. I was listening to it on audiobook and I just wasn't turning on my audiobook app to listen to it. So I sent that back early. Didn't like it. I mean, it wasn't bad. It's just not my type of book. It wasn't holding my interest, and like I said, I wasn't turning on my audiobook app to listen to it, so I just moved on from it because I'm not wasting times on not excellent books this year. So that's pretty much everything for books. As far as shop news, I know I haven't had an update in a while. I am working on it. So if you have messaged me asking when my next shop update is, the answer is soon. I do have a big stack of bags here that I just need to finish assembling, but I can go ahead and show you guys the prints. So this is a really pretty floral fabric that I have coming soon. The inside is this blue gingham that I love and just thought it went really well with this fabric. Right, and then at the bottom of the stack I have these cute foxes, which I also really like. And then the inside is like these really pretty cornflowers. So keep an eye out for these coming to the shop very soon, probably within the next week or two. And then I have another batch of bags that I'm working on for a store that is local to me, so I will hopefully have some of those finished and be able to show them next time. But as always, you can use the code KnitNowSwatchLater for 15% off in my Etsy shop, which I know there's not a lot there right now, but I am working on it, I promise. So I think that's pretty much everything for this episode. So if you enjoyed this episode, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I put out a new episode every 2 weeks. So until next time, happy knitting. Bye!